I roll in. I'm trying to explain to him, hey, go to the finish. He's like, what? Go to the finish. What? Hey, Tonga, what? Just chop me in the head.
Oh,
so he
no.
chops me, and that was a stiff. His chops are always stiff. That was like a funny thing backstage. I love Khali.
Yeah.
Boy, he will give you a concussion practically with that chop.
This is TMZ's Inside the Ring.
Hello and welcome to TMZ's Inside the Ring. I'm Branson Quirke.
I'm Roger Corral.
And oh man, this has been a really great morning for us, Roger.
It's been fun. We even got to go out to the newsroom.
And nobody knows who's on yet because we haven't showed the camera angle yet.
Oh, is that so?
No, I have it on us right now.
Nice.
We are so lucky to join. And dude, this guy is very intimidating, I have to admit. He's a Harvard lawyer, an actor. This guy was in the freaking Marvel Cinematic Universe, which I didn't even know that. And this guy's also a big part of my childhood. He's a part of the Nexus, John Cena's tag team partner, and he's undefeated at WrestleMania. David Otunga, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. And that's quite an introduction there.
Hey, of course. Hey, man, like, let me tell you, you really were my childhood. The Nexus, you know, my buddies, when I told them that you were coming, they couldn't even believe it. Wow. You know, they tried to send me one of their Nexus t-shirts, but he lives in Nashville. So overnight wasn't going to work out.
That's great. Greatest faction?
The greatest faction, of course.
Absolutely.
Up until SummerSlam. Yeah.
Yes.
The memories sting.
Yeah, Super
Unfortunately.
Cena happened to us, but...
You know, I totally forgot that moment where John Cena had just walked out with both the belts and left your ass in the ring.
Yeah, right.
What was with that?
Yeah, we just won. I did all the work. I had to hand him his title. I, come down from celebrating on the turnbuckle and he hits me with an AA.
That is ridiculous.
Completely just ungrateful. Try to take all the credit for it.
What is it like being on the, because John Cena's in his farewell tour right now. Everybody's talking about John Cena. What is it like being on the receiving end of an AA, of an attitude adjustment?
It definitely adjusts your attitude, I'll tell you that. Hurts the lower back. Oh man, spinal erectors. It's not fun. Not a good thing. But unfortunately, I took my fair share of those.
Yeah.
And how was it working with John Cena? I know, different people have worked with him. I think we spoke to, I forgot who we spoke to, and they were like, John Cena likes to call things right in the middle. Like, he doesn't like to pre-plan too much.
To be perfectly honest with you, I love working with John. Yeah, he's probably like my favorite person to work with, to be honest, because first of all, if I'm working with John, it's going to be in the main event. And it might even be for a title. Yeah. You never know. But that's how he likes to do it, is completely call everything. Like, John Cena is extremely talented in what we do. At being a WWE superstar, when they call him the GOAT, yeah, he really probably is. But in the ring, he'll call everything. And I was extremely green. I remember being in a match with him, like right while I was at NXT, and he literally had to call everything. All right, punch, breathe. All right, flex, do your stuff. So it's cool.
Wow.
Yeah, like literally like everything. All right, I'm going to do this to you. I'm going to do that. And he talks so calmly, like this, and slow, like, all right, okay, get up. I'm going to hit you with a shoulder tackle, and then another one, throw one, you duck it, I'm going to duck it, I'll pick you up, boom, put you down. All right, and it'll be like that. All right, go.
That sounds, and it all looks so good. So like you never would have noticed anything whatsoever. Everybody at home doesn't notice any. You saying you're green, nobody notices that.
I wish I would have known that, because it's nerve-wracking for me. Like, you have to understand, like, okay, I'm going to be in the main event with John Cena, and I don't know what I'm doing in the match, because I just have to trust him to call the move. So that, but in my mind, I'm like, okay, but what if after I do whatever move he tells me to do, before he tells me the next one, what am I supposed to be doing? Because I'm just sitting here like, listen, what are you going to have me do next? But I guess I'm happy that it doesn't come across that way. Right. But like, that's how it used to feel. But then after like the second or third time I wrestled him, I was able to calm down, because like he's that good. So our matches always look great.
Yeah. Wow. So you're out here in LA now. We really didn't expect that. We thought you'd be in Florida like all the other guests that we had on, because that's kind of like the wrestling homeland, essentially. In Florida. But you're out here, and I really want to talk about what you got going on now. So you're an actor. You've been in countless. I just went on your IMDb, and I completely just was shocked because I didn't know you did some of these amazing projects. Marvel Cinematic Universe. David, of course, was in She-Hulk. You were really good.
Yeah,
in
that was great.
By the way,
oh, thank you very
really
much.
good and very, very intimidating character in that. And then obviously The Call with Halle Berry. You were in Criminal Minds. I can go on and on. But now you're doing a YouTube channel, you said, as well.
Yes.
As well as acting. So how's that all going?
It's been great, to be honest with you. Finally, there's been a case, this Raja Jackson situation, where you needed somebody who's both a lawyer and a professional wrestler. So it's like my two worlds, coming together. I started covering that, and the channel kind of started blowing up. And I realized this is a very rare niche that I have, being able to cover both of these things. And I started having so much fun with it. And then the discussion, and I started getting booked left and right on podcasts just to talk about the situation, and then realizing, wow, it's not only this, but there's so many interesting cases or places where the law and wrestling intersect. But not even just that, but in sports and entertainment, which I'm also in. So I started just expanding my YouTube channel, and I've been having so much fun with it. So much fun.
Yeah, we have a podcast here called Behind the Bar, and it's essentially where the lawyers of TMZ go through some of the biggest cases. Diddy, Raja Jackson, man, that story really has just blown up. And a lot of people are upset at the fact that he was not charged with attempted murder. And you talked about that on your YouTube channel. Bring us up to speed a little bit about why that is, and what do you think the outcome will be for Raja Jackson in this?
Well, okay, the prevailing theory for the people who've watched it, they assume this was attempted murder. So this is a clear-cut case of that, because if he hadn't stopped punching him, he could have killed him. Yeah. And that very well could be true. However, it's a lot harder to prove attempted murder than people might think. You have to prove that there was specific intent to kill. And even though, Raja was on stream and he was, saying things, he was saying he was going to go in there and go off script and really punch him. Nowhere did he say anything about killing him, but then also punching somebody in the face repeatedly. Yes, you could seriously injure somebody. You could kill somebody if you kept doing it, but that's not a traditional means of it. So that in and of itself doesn't really suggest specific intent. It has to be very specific enough to convince a jury to unanimously agree. And that's a very hard thing. So that's why attempted murder just didn't fit. Could prosecutors bring it? They could try, but I don't think they would be successful on that. So I think battery with serious bodily injury is a more appropriate charge, which happens to be what they ended up charging him with. Also, since we're in California, there is a thing called a GBI enhancement, GBI. So that's great bodily injury. So if somebody commits a felony and there's great bodily injury involved, that's an automatic 3 years added on. So for the felony battery that Raja's facing, the maximum penalty is 4 years. But with the GBI enhancement, it could be up to 7 years. However, I haven't heard that prosecutors are pushing for that yet, but I would expect that to be added.
Oh, that's something that the prosecutors have to put themselves. Yeah,
they have to add.
Okay.
And I would imagine that.
And what would be, if you were defending Raja Jackson, what's your defense?
Okay. If I were defending him, it would be, they told me to do this. That they created a spot. Because now, there's evidence coming out. I went through the whole entire video on my YouTube, and you can see that they told Raja he could get in the ring and do stuff, but he was very unclear on what to do and when. He didn't know when his spot was. He didn't know when to go in. And there's a point on his stream, he actually gets up and has to go find somebody to ask, hey, when am I going in? Is somebody going to tell me? And oh, yeah. We'll tell you, when the time comes. And then the guy comes out, sits behind him. You can't hear what he says, but he tells Raja something. And even then, when his spot comes, he misses it at the beginning. And Psycho Stu, who's the victim, you can see him talking to the ref, kind of looking for him and saying, hey, he missed his spot. When is this going to happen? Later, they play music for Raja. They play entrance music, which, if you're a casual fan, well, me too. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know this was Raja's music. Yeah. He had music. So this was kind of playing. When he got in, Raja says somebody told him, keep punching until we come in to pull you off. So I would say that, and being he's an MMA fighter, that's the rules in MMA. If an opponent is down, you keep punching and it's up to the referee.
For the ref, that's true.
To stop you. So Raja, the argument would be, or could be, that's what he was doing. He was following orders. That's how he's trained. They told him this, and it was the promotion's error. Because also the other thing is, it's tough because there was consent given. They did tell him, and there's evidence of this, go in, you can punch him, and they're telling him you can get a receipt. Nobody ever explained to him what a receipt is. That's wrestling terminology for if somebody hits you too hard, you can hit them back too hard, but in the same manner they did to you. Raja is not a wrestler. They did not explain that to him. He's an MMA fighter, and they repeatedly told him, you can punch for real, really tag him, really lay it in. Yeah. So it's kind of like it's double talk. So in his mind, he had the mens rea. He didn't have the mens rea of committing a crime, but what he was doing was following orders, and, he didn't like the guy. The guy embarrassed him, so he really was going to punch him back.
Wow.
So basically, that's what I would say.
Do you think he has a strong defense? Like, where do you think this ends up?
I do think that's a strong defense, depending on, what argument the lawyer makes. And I'll be honest with you, he's going to need a lawyer who is very well versed in wrestling culture and terminology, and understands the entire situation. So it's tough just because of that. Like you need somebody who can understand both sides.
We have someone here.
Yeah, no, seriously. I mean, and plus you were just on Mark Henry's podcast. I'm forgetting the name of the podcast. What is Mark Henry? I want to give him his thing.
Yeah, we should. I'll look it up.
Does anybody know? I definitely want to quote it.
Geez, I should know it. I was just on.
Right. I think it was like Take Heat or
Mark
something like that.
Mark just called me right when we walked in.
Oh, really?
That's when my phone was going off.
Oh, really? Got you. No, it was like Heat, something Heat.
Let's just do it to give him his props.
Yeah. I got the thumbnail of it somewhere.
Podcast Heat. That's
Podcast Heat.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you were just on Mark Henry's Podcast Heat, and Mark Henry, he notably came out in somewhat of a defense of Raja Jackson afterwards, and a few other wrestlers did come out in defense of him too. Where do you stand on this personally?
Personally, I think Raja should be under the jail. Like, he definitely committed a crime here. To me, it's awful. It's awful to watch for everybody, but the fact that Psycho Stu was allowing him to do this, like, you can see Psycho Stu posted so Raja could pick him up for the slam. Like, as wrestlers, we're giving our opponent our body. I'm trusting you with my body to punch me safely. If you pick me up for a slam, to put me down safely. And for somebody to be completely open and allowing somebody else to punch them, and Raja to take advantage of that, that's just despicable. To the point where he knocked him out. That was enough. The guy is unconscious. Why would you really start punching him in the face? Like that, to me, is just inexcusable. So personally, I think he should be in jail for that.
Wow. Have you ever faced anything? I mean, obviously this was like a once in a lifetime type of thing, but did you ever face any unsafe worker, maybe a celebrity that didn't know what they were doing? Anything like that?
Not me personally. Like we've had incidents like that, but you kind of have to give them grace because they told him to slap. That's usually what it would be, like a slap, and they'll slap too hard. Or like if they have to throw a punch, throw it like the Travis Scott situation.
That's right.
Right.
Like where he broke Cody Rhodes' eardrum.
Yeah.
He was throwing a punch. Now, it's not like he necessarily went off script because wrestling punches are hard to learn. And especially if you're somebody who maybe they just showed it to you that day, it's really tough to pull a punch and make it look good. And so sometimes they'll say, really hit me, and they will, and yeah, it's a disaster. But that doesn't mean that they were trying to injure you. Usually it's the opposite, but it's just, error. Because it's tough to learn.
Yeah. Do you think ever since then, fans have definitely not really been on the side of Travis Scott, and they were firing off at Triple H for allowing this, firing off at WWE for even using him again and again and again. Do you think that that's why WWE pulled away from using Travis Scott? Like they kind of just stopped using him.
Yeah, and, I mean, there were reports that they felt like he wasn't picking it up.
Did you hear anything about possibly maybe so there was some upset backstage from people you might know in WWE?
I did. Yeah, that was the consensus, and basically what I heard. He didn't take it as serious as, say, like Bad Bunny or obviously Logan Paul.
Yeah.
And when he was here, it was sloppy. It took him a long time to get to the ring one time, injuring Cody Rhodes. Like, you can't, take out one of the top stars.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think he ended up being more of a liability. And the fan reaction. Like, people were legitimately not good heat. Like, heat is a good thing if somebody's a heel, but heat like that's not good.
Yeah, Travis Scott heat.
Yeah, Travis Scott. You don't want Travis Scott heat, trust me.
No, not he's had heat before.
Yeah.
We all know about that. So I want to talk about NXT right now.
Yeah.
You were famously in the first season of NXT, which this is a great opportunity to talk to you about this whole new invasion that's going on. Have you seen this?
I'm just hearing about this.
So TNA invaded NXT just this week on Tuesday. So we saw, which was shocking, we saw Matt Cardona, which you've worked with before, obviously, Team Johnny versus Team Teddy.
Yeah.
Cardona shows up. We saw
The Inspiration.
The Iconics formerly in WWE. So we are seeing this complete crossover now. And back in WWE of your era, that would probably never would have happened, TNA being involved, right? How do you think Vince is reacting to all of this?
I'm sure Vince is blowing a gasket, but I think we're well past that. I think what would have put Vince over the edge, honestly, is when he turns on the product and sees the ring and how it's almost like a NASCAR with all the ad sponsorships. That was it for him. I'm telling you, that put him over the edge. But I'm
imagining him at home watching.
But just seeing the crossover too. Like, this would have never happened when I was wrestling. Does it, happening now? I think it's awesome though.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see Matt Cardona back, and a lot of people, and it opens the door for just different, dream matchups, and you never know, storylines. Matt Cardona might come back to WWE. Who knows? But yeah, this is not something that ever would have happened on Vince's watch.
Do you think you could do another Nexus nowadays? An invasion is something that they attempted to do it with WCW. Now we're seeing it with TNA. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. I feel the Nexus was so successful because nobody knew who you guys were. There was an element of surprise in that regard. Do you think that could work again nowadays?
It could if it was done correctly. But honestly, I can't even say for sure, because with Nexus, it was so organic. And I'll tell you what made it real is that it was real, because we were on NXT. That first season was pitched to us as being a reality show, and it really was.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know what was going to happen until we got there. They really surprised us on the show, which is wild because, hey, look, WWE is scripted out. Why can't we script it out? Why can't we work this reality show? Yeah. It was really a shoot for us. And so, but the fans didn't know that. So at the end of it, when we finished, I ended up, being runner-up. Everybody else, we thought that we were going to be fired.
Really?
After that. Yeah, we're sent to developmental and just let go because obviously, we didn't make it.
They didn't tell you anything?
No. So they asked all of us to come to TV the week after the finale. So guys who had been eliminated in NXT earlier had to come back. And so we all knew, the collective of us, this isn't good if they have us all here. Nobody talked to us all day. It was really weird. So then right before the show started, they call us into Vince's office, and we go in there, all 8 of us. It's just us, Vince, and Michael Hayes. And they close the door and they say, look, this is what's going to happen. We want you to go down, storm the main event. We want you to wreak havoc and tear everything up, beat up John Cena, beat up CM Punk, everybody. The announcer, the timekeeper, tear the ring up. We're going to give you box cutters and stuff to tear the place apart. We're looking around. And then they're like, and Vince tells us, and if it doesn't look vicious enough, you're fired.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
So.
Oh my, that's
they told us that. And so I remember, again, I was really green. I had only had a few matches in my career. And the way it started was I had to throw the first punch on Chad Patton, the referee, and it had to look good.
Oh, my God.
As I said, punches are difficult, especially when you do. I'm like, Vince said, hey, if it doesn't look good, you're fired. I was like, well, we got to really start this. Chad Patton, sorry, buddy, but you're going to have to eat one.
Yeah.
But,
almost had a Psycho Stew incident on our hands back then. Wow.
But luckily, it turned out all right. But it was real because we were literally fighting for our jobs. And I think what's awesome is the fans in the arena they believed it to the point where after we beat up everybody at the announce table, a fan reached over the railing and started ringing the ring bell like to get help.
No
Yeah,
way.
for help.
What?
People really thought. And then when we got backstage, some of the other wrestlers were lined up because they were going to fight us because they thought.
Oh my God!
They thought we
Wait,
really went
seriously?
crazy. They weren't smart
Wow.
enough to it. They thought we really went crazy. Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. When I saw that, I think this is like 2010, right?
Young boy.
Yeah.
I was 9 years old, and I really, really was upset at you. I was really, and the fact that you just kept going and going on Cena, and then they stretched him out that night, and it was just you guys definitely made waves across the world when you did that. I'll tell you that.
Could I mention something real quick? I remember Daniel Bryan got in trouble.
Yeah.
Because he started choking someone.
Justin Roberts.
Right.
And he got in trouble for it. And now you're telling us that they told you to go hard.
Yeah.
What happened there?
So, yeah, that was always something that I, disagreed with. They told us to go hard or we were fired. They never told us what the line was. In fact, they told us go too hard and we'll pull you back.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Bryan got fired for choking Justin Roberts, who was the ring announcer. And as I remember, I think he was pulling his tie and like choking him like that.
You're right. Yeah.
And what I understood is the visual. WWE was afraid of the visual. And so they fired Bryan for that, which I didn't necessarily agree with.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was doing what they told him to do.
Right.
And none of you guys got in trouble, just him?
No,
Okay.
just him. And then he was brought back
Yeah, that's SummerSlam.
immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was John Cena once you guys got to the back after that?
After that?
Yeah.
Oh. No, to be honest, he was so happy. Like even when we went to the back, you understand, we were nervous. We were still amped up, but nervous because we don't know if we did a good job. Like we don't know. We still might be fired, but when we came in the back, like everybody was going crazy. They were so happy. Vince was so happy. Cena was so happy. That's probably the happiest I've ever seen John Cena.
Oh wow.
He was really happy and like telling us like, oh man, we got something here. Like this is going to be great.
Seeing John Cena like in Total Divas and how like routine he is, everything is like a routine for him. He's like down to the line, down to the.
Very robotic.
He's very robotic.
Yeah.
Like what is he like? Like in a social setting outside of business.
Oh, I'll tell you. And this is a free plug for John Cena, James Gunn, Peacemaker.
Yeah.
That is John Cena. Like that is honestly like my favorite show to watch because I love superheroes. I love what James Gunn did with it. It's great. Cena kills this role because he's being himself, but just way, way turned up. Like his humor is kind of like that. And so for me, like it's funny because I'm like, oh, that's just John being John. Like he's, he cracks jokes, like dirty jokes all the time and not serious, very sarcastic, dry humor, but very much like that. Yeah.
You said in a recent interview that if in this farewell tour, if the Nexus doesn't somehow pop up, that it's a travesty. And I agree. I agree. Have you reached out to anyone directly about this? John Cena himself?
No, I have not. But John, is this my camera?
It's your camera right there. Yeah,
John, don't you run off to James Gunn just yet. No. The Nexus, we still got your number. We have unfinished business. You cannot retire until you deal with us.
I have to say too, and Cena's calling his own shots kind of right now. He got
an AJ Styles.
He just tweeted out AJ Styles to Triple H, and now it's happening.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's
going to be great. Crown Jewel.
I'm glad he did that. Yeah.
Crown Jewel in Saudi, right?
Correct. It's in Perth.
Oh, Perth. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I forgot it. But in terms of this farewell tour right now, we've been asking everybody, what do you think is going to be? He only has 2 matches left after that.
At this point, yeah, it's
so
crazy.
Who's his farewell final match going to be, in your opinion?
Honestly, I don't know.
Because who could it be? We had Brock already.
There's rumors about Edge at this point.
There is rumors about Edge, but I don't think Tony Khan would go for that.
There was a whole promo where Edge said, I need to take a break. So, yeah, so we have rumors. But you're right, we only have like 2 dates. And we spoke to RVD. The reason we ask you is because we spoke to RVD like a month ago, and he told us he was in talks with WWE about potentially having a match or an appearance, and then he broke both of his ankles. And so that didn't come to fruition. So, if there's any way we could get the message out to John, that would be great.
Yeah, seriously. But in terms of also, we just spoke about Saudi Arabia. Obviously, Saudi Arabia is going to be hosting WrestleMania 43 There's been mixed opinions on that right now. What's your opinion on this whole thing going over there? Because people are really upset about it, but I just don't really understand why they're so upset.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't like it.
To me, I just understand it as business.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting paid what, like $250 million?
350.
That's
There you
crazy.
go. This is a business. So that's a business decision. I mean, that's why they're doing that. That's why the prices are, what they are. Morally personal opinions aside, I just look at it as, objective. It's business.
Yeah.
Do you think that affects, when you were talking about the ads earlier, you said you're not a fan of it. Where do you draw the line? Like, what do you think they should do? Because it does feel like they're trying to get money from any which direction. They're all over. They're on the tables now. We have logos on the tables.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
they're going to put them on the wrestlers soon, I heard.
Oh, my gosh.
Tattoos.
So I want your thoughts on that.
I'm okay with the endorsements and stuff, but I think they're just going a little bit overboard with it. The ring stuff is too much. Like it's overpowering. That's where I kind of draw the line, just from an aesthetic perspective. But they are going kind of wild with the advertising, and they could tone it down a little bit. But again, it's business, so maybe they need it. I don't know.
But it's $40,000 to sit second row at WrestleMania next year.
It's so insane.
$40,000. I just looked, and the service fee alone was $7,000. And I'm thinking, like, green shirt guy can obviously afford this, but I just don't. It's so
Yeah, that's
I'm
rough.
honestly wondering who's going to buy those tickets.
So there's been a lot of talk about how WWE is now really just focusing on celebrities to buy these tickets because they want them front row. And as you know, back in your day as well, it was all about, like, if a celebrity was in attendance, throw the camera in their face, show them what we're doing and everything. I think that's what they're aiming for right now is celebrities, and then everybody behind is the quote unquote real fans that are in there as well. But there's a lot of celebrities that love wrestling dearly right now. Yeah. We've got Macaulay Culkin, we've got Vanessa Hudgens
shows up all the time.
Vanessa Hudgens, Logan Paul now fighting in WWE. We saw Jelly Roll. By the way, Jelly Roll said that this is his favorite new podcast. I don't know if you knew that.
That's what he's probably watching.
Yeah. So look, Jelly Roll right here.
Hey,
I'm wearing. I have to.
Plug for Jelly Roll.
Right. Trying to get him on. But what is your feelings about celebrity involvement? I know there was a bunch of celebrity involvement in your time as well. One notable, Hugh Jackman. That was my favorite celebrity that showed up involved with Zack Ryder. What's your thoughts on that right now?
I think it's great. I think it's great for what it's doing for the company, the business as a whole. It's helping it to expand. And I like what they're doing with the celebrities, like the time they're putting into it. But those who are interested, like Jelly Roll, like Logan Paul, like Bad Bunny. Logan Paul is having amazing matches because he's really putting in the time, but WWE is really putting in the time to work with him, rehearse. But I like it. I really like that. And, if they can start integrating more people in, putting the time into them, they got something here. Ultimately, it brings more eyes.
No, totally, exactly. I have to ask: are you watching any programming right now? WWE, AEW, TNA?
I still watch WWE.
Do you watch AEW or TNA at all?
Not really.
Hard to keep up with everything.
Yeah, that's a lot, man.
A lot of wrestling now.
Just having this podcast, I have to watch all those plus indie wrestling, and it's a lot. And I think that this is the best time for wrestling in a sense where it's become quote unquote mainstream again. People are saying. I mean, it was huge years ago, but I think it's now circled back to a different level with ESPN.
Yeah.
$30 a month, unfortunately, to be a WWE. It's expensive to be a WWE fan right now. But and we're also seeing, WWE expanding into podcasts. Stephanie McMahon now being entered into the Hall of Fame. I wanted to ask you one question about the Nexus and whether or not, and I've always wondered this, did the Nexus inspire the Shield to become what they are?
Wow.
Or what they were back then?
Nobody ever told me this, but like if you look at it, yes. The Shield was basically Nexus, but where they went wrong with Nexus, they went right with the Shield. They learned from their mistakes, but in my opinion, that's exactly what it was. And then they tweaked it a little bit, and they had less members, but Nexus was the blueprint for the Shield.
Such an influential era. I know you praised John Cena. I remember at the time, Cena got a lot of flack because people said he essentially buried NXT. And they said, he didn't help put you guys over. Wade Barrett was like on such a hot streak. People wanted him to main event. What was the reaction backstage to that, if any? And, did it affect the storylines in any way?
Yeah, I think collectively, people agreed, like, we should have won at SummerSlam. Like, that's an infamous story. We were supposed to win at SummerSlam all day until about an hour or two before showtime.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, and the finishes changed, and we knew who changed it, and they told us who changed it. It was John Cena.
Wow.
I think I don't want to. I think it was Jericho or Edge, or maybe both. But like we were told, like, we know who it was, and they disagreed with it. We disagreed with it, and with the ending, we should have won, but Cena went over, and yeah, it completely cut the legs out from under us. And after that, Nexus kind of fell apart. But why would you spend the entire summer building this faction that had so much heat? The match, I think it was SmackDown before SummerSlam, when we had the face-off in the ring, that was the loudest ovation ever. And a couple of the veterans who were in the match told us, Cena himself said, this is the loudest I've ever heard. And I remember going backstage and Vince just being so excited. So coming off of that, and we're a new faction, new guys, why would you have us lose?
Right.
That's like, having somebody debut and they lose in their first match.
Doesn't make sense.
Right. And it didn't. And I think, backstage collectively, everybody agreed with that. I think John knows deep down, that was the wrong decision he made.
Wow.
Did, it's funny because every week when I would get to school after watching Raw and SmackDown with the Nexus, me and my buddies formed our own Nexus at school. And we wanted to start infiltrating lunch and start beating people up. Not for real. I don't know if it was going to be real or not. But no, it was very influential. So I completely agree with you that it just didn't make sense when you guys lost at SummerSlam. It didn't make sense whatsoever. Was there any talk of an additional Nexus member that didn't end up inside the faction at some point?
Yes. The Nexus started fracturing, and then we heard they were bringing some people in, and I can't remember who it was. I kind of do, but I don't want to.
You can say.
If I'm being honest, I will say today, but we were like, no, absolutely not. There's a couple names they floated to us. I don't even know if it was real or, the guys backstage were just messing with us. But then eventually they brought people in and we weren't having it. So they split off and made the core, where Wade Barrett had hit the core with 2 R's. Which was weird. That was a Vince thing. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Wade Barrett had his group, and of course Ezekiel Jackson joined. And then on the Nexus side, we got Joe Hennig and or Curtis Axel. He was McGillicuddy then, and
I loved him. I missed that guy.
Wyndham, who's Bray Wyatt, but then was Husky Harris, who was one of my best friends. Joe too. So it was cool having them. And and we had Mason Ryan also. We were the new Nexus, which I was the leader of. So the new Nexus, I had high hopes for us, and we started turning things around. But CM Punk happened to us. So literally, I think the way that happened was I told Wade Barrett on Raw, "You're out. We voted you out, basically." And then now going into that, I was going to take over the Nexus. Everybody was excited. Literally the next week, CM Punk comes out and he's our leader now. And so we're like, wait, what? Why did we even have this storyline?
Yeah.
And again, this has not been confirmed, but what I heard was that Punk needed a new faction. I forget what his group was before with Gallows and Serena.
Straight Edge Society. Yeah.
That's right.
He needed a new kind of thing like that. He was coming back, and so they gave him Nexus. Wow. Initially, it was supposed to be my group, but then he was like, oh, all right. And that's why, at first, he didn't even seem like he was really into it. It didn't last all that long, but yeah.
It's funny. It felt random to you. It felt random to fans as well.
Yeah,
it was random.
It confused me. It definitely did.
Right?
Yes. No, I'm right up in there. So this is all bringing back so many memories. I want to talk about, I'm going to bring up John Cena one more time. That's okay. I want to talk about his heel turn this year. I really want to know your thoughts on this. I don't understand, and a lot of fans just don't understand what the truth is behind it, because it was so sudden that he went from heel to babyface again this year, which everybody saw. Why do you think that it was just a last minute decision for him just to go back?
Yeah. That was about as random as CM Punk joining the Nexus. Like, that was random.
Yeah.
And it seemed like it because Cena didn't have a build. Like, overnight, he's a heel. Wait, what? Why? And it never really explained it, and just kind of went, and it didn't seem genuine. Like, you know, for years, decades, people have wanted John Cena to turn heel and imagine what that would look like.
Yeah.
But nowhere, in my wildest imagination anyway, did it look like this. And it just fell flat. It was what it was. I'm glad that he turned it around, came back babyface. This is what we want, because that was not the heel turn that everybody was hoping for.
Wow.
His dad really didn't like it either.
Yeah, he just went on a podcast and blasted the whole thing.
His dad, I'm surprised Cena probably called him up and said, "Hey, man, like, shut up,
You can't be
dude."
doing podcasts.
He was upset with the final boss, and Cody just ending abruptly. Famously just said that. So I'm thinking farewell tour last match will probably be the final boss. Did you ever work with The Rock during your time at WWE? Did you ever have any run-ins with him?
Oh, no. I had a ton of run-ins with him.
Okay.
I didn't have any, like,
segments.
I didn't get a match or anything. I wish. Oh, no. I talked to The Rock a bunch.
What was it like working with him?
WWE. Oh, it was awesome. Like, he's, you know, one of my inspirations, and, you know, just everything that he's done from wrestling to acting. Yeah, it's the same thing, you know, I want to do, obviously. But he's so nice. And so every time I would talk to him, I would just ask him, you know, for advice, and he would give me great advice. You know, be yourself, be authentic, know where you want to go, and then, you know, just operate that way. You know, do everything for the crowd. So if you're a heel, be a heel. And, you know, his advice was great. And then, you know, for me being a bigger guy in Hollywood, like, it's tough because why? Hey, if I play a doctor, why is this doctor look like a bodybuilder? You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, I get it. They wouldn't cast me for that. So, you know, he was telling me just find ways, like, to hide your size. So, you know, I've
Really?
Wait, so he's giving
size.
you advice outside of wrestling?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
One of the coolest moments ever, like this is a, you know, personal story. I was at the Mr. Olympia contest, and I had my cousin with me, and Dwayne was there, and they were promoting the show. He was like the host or something this year. And, you know, I was downstairs, and, you know, he saw me, and so I waved, and he was like, yeah, you know, come around. And so I came around, and they brought me up, like, to this stage, but it was like a kind of like a green room. And there's probably 20 people, you know, in there. And he goes, hey, you guys, can we have the room? And he cleared out this entire room just to talk to me. And
Wow.
yeah, no, like, he didn't have to do that. And, you know, we sat and we talked, and he was like, you know, how are you doing? And I, you know, was telling him, this is what I'm doing, you know, in Hollywood. I'm trying to get cast, but I'm a bigger guy. And I've had casting directors tell me, hey, you got to lose some size. And I was like, you know, what should I do? And he was telling me how he went through the same thing, like back when he did the game plan. Like, he was super lean then, lost, you know, all kind of muscle. And he said he didn't feel like himself, and he hated it. And I said, yeah, that's how I feel now. So he, you know, he said that after that, he decided he was just going to be himself and be authentic. And that's when his career, like, really took off. You know, he did Fast Six. I forget what the other ones were. He had like a whole run, and then on to where he is now. So he was telling me, just try to find ways to cover it up, but don't stop doing that, because that's such a big part of who you are. Working out and, like, body. I mean, we were at the Mr. Olympia contest.
Yeah,
Right.
Clearly. So, like, I'm glad, and you know, I stuck to that and just kind of find ways to hide it, but you know, still be who I am. Such a big part of who I am. But anyway, he's super nice. Like, he didn't have to do that, and that's a memory that always stands out to me. And that's not the only memory I have with him like that. So
it's incredible. It's incredible. And yeah, you're acting. You're very busy in Hollywood. What's your favorite type of role to take on?
Well, a superhero role. Like, that's what I that's obviously what I want.
I could definitely see you as
that would be great.
as one of honestly one of the Avengers, dude. I'm serious, very easily.
That's been my dream role since I started acting, is like to work in the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the DC Universe, and I got close a couple times. Like, I got really close.
Really?
It was down to me and one other guy.
No
is that so?
freaking way.
Got the role.
Wait,
what was the role?
you're gonna have to tell us who this was. Can you?
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't get the role. I'm saying whatever.
Right.
It was the Inhumans.
Oh, okay.
Gorgon.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it was me and one other guy. And I'll never forget. Like, I was all right, this is a real story. This broke my heart. I was commentating for SmackDown, and I just came back in town, and I had my screen test, and it was me and the guy who got it. I went in, and I nailed it, and it was with Jeff Loeb was executive, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we loved you." I had to wait an entire week, and I was at SmackDown and getting ready to go on the air, and my agent calls me, and it's like, "Oh, David," I think she's going to tell me, "Oh, you got it." She's like, "I have bad news." I'm like, "You're kidding me." She's like, "They went with the other guy." I'm like, "No, I'm crushed." And they said, they loved you, but you didn't have enough acting credits, and so they went with the other guy.
Wow.
And this is right, like this is heartbreaking. I'm crushed, and this is right before I go on the air for SmackDown, and I had to go do the entire show with this dark cloud hanging over me. It's really tough. 'Cause that's always something I wanted to be that close. The other guy got it. But then I did land a role on She-Hulk that we talked about.
Yeah, right.
Later, so I got in the universe, but still not where I want to go. Superhero role. But, I'm glad that people enjoyed it. And what's funny is people think that it was a cameo, that I was being myself, or because I'm a lawyer.
I thought it was a cameo. Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was a straight up audition that I got. And the point is, or the fact is, they didn't even know I was a lawyer. They
really
don't know. Huh. Yeah, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They didn't know I was a professional wrestler.
Oh,
but
wow.
I know that they were shocked that after the screenshots came out, wait, who's this? What? Have anybody in this? Yeah, but I got the role just straight up. I did the audition like everybody else and booked it.
Wow, man! Thank you for telling us that story.
That's amazing. And it's so brutal out there, even for people that are established.
Yeah, you
brutal.
still hear big actors, and they still go through auditions, and it's rough, man. That's kind of the business.
Yeah. Got Avengers Doomsday coming out next year.
Yeah,
right?
there's still time. We could.
There's still time. There's always time. Maybe he knows something we don't.
That's true, actually.
That's the thing. You never know.
No.
You never know.
I was going to ask you as well, because I knew you initially from reality. I live in New York, and I always thought you had such a personality. So then when I saw you go into wrestling and more roles, I was like, yeah, this guy's great. Obviously, I know you love acting. Do you still have any interest in reality in any way? I watched The Traitors, and Nikki Bella was on that. Yeah. And I was like, oh, David Otunga would be great.
You'd be perfect on there.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that show is.
Oh, you don't? Traitors?
No.
It's basically a room of celebrities, and there's 3 moles in there, and those are the traitors that are trying to disrupt the whole team, and you have to find out who the traitors are. Nikki Bella did great.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, it sounds fun. They're on the 3rd season, and I was just wondering if reality is still something you would be interested in.
Yeah, absolutely. When I did reality TV, that was in my mind, the golden age. It was when it was really starting, those kind of shows. And, it was so much fun. I've always been a fan of reality TV. That's something hey, I'm always open to a cool concept. This Trader show sounds interesting to me. But, I'm always down for reality TV.
Cool. We asked you about The Rock. We asked you about John Cena. You also worked with CM Punk. How was that relationship, and what do you think about his return to WWE?
It was interesting working with Punk. He's an interesting guy because not everybody likes him. At that time, liked him backstage, and then some people he was close with, but he was kind of standoffish. And at first, it didn't really feel like he wanted to be with the new Nexus. So. He kind of had a little bit harder outer shell, but then he ended up being really cool. And so, him and I were really cool. In fact, it was him and I actually that lived in Chicago. And I remember
that's right.
After one event, he was going to take a private jet back, and he asked me if I wanted to ride with him. He didn't have to at all. He was like, hey, I'm taking the private jet home tonight. You want to go after the show? I was like, yeah. But, he ended up being really cool, and I had a really good relationship with him. And I'll tell you another funny story. I vividly remember this. I wonder if he does. But the night he did the pipe bomb promo, McGillicuddy and I, we'd been riding with him, right? Driving him around and stuff. And we were with him that day. When he did that, he worked us. We were like, yo, this is kind of stuff he's talked about to us, in the car. He's out here really saying
crisscross applesauce.
Phil, take it easy, right? And then when he came back through the curtains, I legit went up to him. I was like, hey, Punk. I was like, that was dope. And I said, hey, man, if I don't see you again, it's been real.
It's been real.
And he goes to me, he laughed, put his arm up. He's like, Otunga, I'm not going anywhere. And I was like, Okay. So, but like he worked us. I thought he legit was getting fired. This guy's out of here.
Mm-hmm. How long was it after that he was
3 years
that he left?
3 years.
It was 3 years after that.
Yeah, because the pipe bomb was in 2011. He left in 2014.
That's right.
Yeah. And then he went to AEW. The way he left AEW was pretty controversial. He had a backstage altercation. I actually had that question from a legal standpoint. I feel like people were like, he fought his way out of his contract to go back.
Physically?
There was he had an altercation.
Maybe.
He had an altercation backstage where he actually attacked another wrestler.
Okay.
And so that was it. He got let go. And then he ended up returning to WWE a few weeks later. So I was just wondering I don't know what kind of standards are put on wrestlers. I don't know, like, what kind of, because in sports, you have like an ethics clause where you're supposed to act a certain way. I was wondering how it is in wrestling.
I don't know what AEW's contract looks like, but WWE's contract, there's definitely an ethics part, morality, but it's purposely left kind of vague. So they can interpret that. I mean, obviously, if you do something that's going to make the company look bad, they're just going to fire you. And, they'll just tell you, this, doesn't look good for us, whatever happened. And that's that. That's wild, though, to hear that the Punk was having backstage altercations. Yeah.
There was a lot of issues at AEW.
Yeah, there was more than one. It was a controversial way, the way he left.
Yeah.
But that's what I was wondering, because I feel like, you hear these stories and people go from one company to another.
I'll tell you what's interesting, though, is you said it was a few weeks later that he popped up at WWE.
Correct.
So AEW must not have a non-compete clause.
I haven't heard of them having one.
No, I have
not heard of that. I know WWE's 90 days, right?
Yeah.
90 days. Why is that, by the way?
They probably want to just corner.
Is that just so that like no other promotion can take advantage?
That's what I'm assuming.
But I swear we just saw Karrion Kross pop up somewhere. We saw Andrade already has a booking right now. He just left. Maybe he knew about the release months prior.
Yeah.
Is my guess.
What I've heard is in some cases, WWE will not enforce the non-compete.
Oh, okay.
And they'll tell you, like, if they don't have anything for you, if it's somebody they really like, it's like, hey, I'm sorry, we don't have anything more. You could stick around or you can leave. And the person's like, you know what, let me go, try my hand on the independent scene. Then they might say, oh, okay, you know what, we'll waive the non-compete. I've heard of that in a few cases.
Wow.
I want to go back to Wade Barrett. You guys were obviously close, I assume.
Yep.
Wade Barrett just recently ran into some online controversy where he said he wouldn't be on commentary for a bit or just taking a break, essentially. He didn't pop up on the next night. And it was essentially, people thought it was because of his comments about Nikki Bella and how she's had to prove her. Do you remember the exact quote?
I think he was in character, but he was essentially saying she's not up to par anymore.
She has to like work her way back to where she was before.
Correct. She took offense to it.
Do you know any information possibly about whether or not it was because of that and that it was just pushed under the bed? I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of heard about this. So wait, let me just make sure. He made the comments while on air?
Correct.
Yes, on air.
It was like one of the three people panel.
But he's famous for that. He goes against.
I've been a commentator. So first of all, he's in character. Second of all, he's a heel. So he's supposed to do that.
Right.
He's doing his job. I remember when I was a commentator, people got mad at me.
Oh, is that so?
There's one time in particular.
Oh, brutal.
I said something about Kevin Owens splashed somebody in the corner.
Yes.
Something about that was bigger than the Battle of the Balls.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens. He was mad. He was really pissed at me like after this.
Wow.
And then I think he went on a mini Twitter rant or something like that.
I remember this.
But he was mad about it. And the thing of it is, he was like one of my favorite wrestlers at that time. Like I loved his work, but like I was being like I had to say something about it. And I didn't even think that was that bad. But like sometimes the guys will really take it personally because they think that if you haven't done commentary, you think you're gonna go out there and just say whatever you feel and like give your real opinion. That's not it at all. Like I wanted to be a heel commentator, but for the most part, I was a babyface commentator. And so, like, I would have to put over the baby faces, which to me felt inauthentic many times. It's tough being a babyface commentator because as a heel commentator, I mean, like, you can have fun and, make fun of anybody and you're trying to get a rise out of people. So Wade Barrett's comments, like, he clearly was trying to get a rise out of people. But from what I understand, him and Nikki talked and everything's cool.
Did you enjoy doing commentary? Like, would you ever go back to, because you said you are going to be doing commentary coming up here pretty soon.
Yeah. So I am doing commentary for a company called Fourth Rope. Shout out to Fourth Rope. started by West Side Gun, Smoke DZA, and it blends hip hop and wrestling. Really, really cool what we're doing over there. So I'm one of the voices of that. Super happy to be doing that. And so would I be doing commentary again? Yes. What was it like doing it at WWE? It's nerve-wracking because, again, like I was saying, I'm not able to say what I really want, my real comments. I have to be in character, playing a character, and kind of having to improv, and bounce off of what other people are saying. And then you have Vince in your ear. We have reads. There's so much traffic going on. Like, it is a lot harder than people think. That's why commentators don't usually last too long. They have to keep, revolving people out. But the people who can do it, that's a real skill. But I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it a lot. And then with Fourth Rope, I love it because I don't have anybody in my ear.
There you go.
And they're kind of letting me create this part. Me and shout out to Kaz and Ernest the Cat Miller, who commentate with me.
I love the cat.
Yeah, the cat. He's great. He's great. So we kind of are just making the stories up. Like as we go, there's nobody in our ear. We have total freedom. Where, that's pretty cool.
So you've been out of the ring since 2015, right?
Yeah.
So do you think you'll ever return to the ring at some point? I mean, you're in fantastic shape.
You're in great shape, man.
Thank you.
But I know injuries or anything like that. But
no, thankfully I haven't had any.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something I would do if the storyline was right. Price was right.
Price is right. Right.
Yeah, that's definitely something.
Enough zeros on the paycheck.
Yeah.
Got you. Now, some people are like, in wrestling, they take it so seriously in terms of what they're putting out there. So we talked to somebody recently who said even if it was a million zeros, the storyline would have to be just right.
All right, that's right.
And no, we'd love to see you back in the ring, if I must say. So hopefully next year or so, maybe.
Yeah, you never know. Hey, if somebody offers me.
I also want to talk about the fans too, and just how different fans are across promotions. WWE, TNA, AEW. I think AEW has a little bit of a more brutal fan base in terms more hard. That's the word, hardcore. Did you ever have any scary situations with fans? We just had Cora Jade here, and she talked about some scary incidents that she had with fans. Maven, Maven. He talks about this on his YouTube channel and some scary run-ins that he's had. And I was shocked by the fact that some of you guys over there have had some really crazy people infiltrate your lives. You've ever had any incidents like that?
Well, luckily for me, it's all been positive. But yes, I've had people who are really obsessive, borderline stalkerish, or even beyond the border. But it's all been positive. I've never had anybody threaten me, thankfully, or anything like that. But the thing about professional wrestling is our fans are fans. They are fanatics.
Right.
And, that's a good thing. But then at the same time, they forget that you're a regular person also. And for me, it's really tough because I wrestled under my real name, David Otunga. So I
that's scary, actually.
And people come, hey, David. And I turn around, they know me. And I realize I don't know them. That used to throw my son off so much. It still does to this day. Somebody will be like, oh, hey, David, what's up? Good seeing you. Hey, thanks. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, thank you. And my son will be like, hey, Dad, you know him? No, of course not.
Wow.
That's
scary.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'm kind of used to it now. But thankfully I haven't had any bad situations with that.
That's great.
Oh, yeah, that's great, man. It's funny. I had this question because we talked about all these wrestlers. You're obviously a brilliant mind. Is there someone that we would be surprised is really smart backstage and can keep up with your discussions?
I mean, not really keep up. I think people are always surprised to see what Kane is really like.
Okay.
Like, without the mask and out of character. And he's, pretty intelligent. But I think he would be the one that comes to mind because he's so different from how he appears, like his character. Yeah. So, yeah, he would be the one.
Who would you say, and you don't have to answer this, who would you say might be like the least, what's the word?
Now we need the opposite.
Who's the opposite of that backstage? In all good fun here.
Heath Slater.
Heath Slater, really?
Heath's my guy, though.
Yeah, no, everybody loves Heath.
He's my guy, but just sometimes Heath's mind will be somewhere else.
We always have that friend.
Yeah.
We all have that friend.
That guy.
Yeah.
But he's super fun to hang out with.
Oh, I bet. Love that. Well, I mean, anything else you'd like to promote coming up? Anything exciting for fans to hear?
Yeah, I have a film getting ready to do, but I don't even know if it has a title yet, so I can't say that. But yeah, getting ready to do that, and then man, my YouTube channel. I'm really passionate about that. You can go to davidotunga.com. It'll take you to my YouTube channel. But it's wrestling and law, covering all these different cases. I'm open to fans to tell me what cases they want me to cover.
Oh wow!
I might do the mass transit incident, some famous ones.
Yeah,
maybe the Montreal screw job.
Oh, there you go.
From a legal standpoint?
Yeah,
from a legal standpoint.
That'd be dope, right?
Yeah, that sounds fun, actually.
I have a lawyer friend who doesn't like wrestling at all. No, sorry. You didn't pass the bar.
I didn't pass the bar.
No, he didn't either, actually. Not yet. He's getting there. He's an associate. But he doesn't like wrestling whatsoever. I've never been able to convince him to enjoy it. But the Montreal screw job, he's very interested in that. And he talks about it all the time. Yes. The minute we talk about wrestling, he brings up the Montreal screw job. So it's very interesting to people, even outside of wrestling and from a legal standpoint. So yes, I think you should cover that.
I think you should.
Be your
that sounds really fun.
First person up.
Yeah, I think I need to. And you know what I'll say is Bret Hart is one of my favorite people in wrestling. And like going back and like watching like the documentaries on that, it's wild to me because you have to really piss Bret off like to get him to act like that because he's so nice. But the other thing is, those Harts take wrestling seriously, like seriously. So yeah, but he's a great guy though. But I think that would be a super interesting case.
Yeah, that's awesome.
In terms of I completely forgot to ask this. In terms of pissing wrestlers off and people like that, we've had people on this show who have gone on like a spree of just a shoot, I guess they would say, talking negative things about other wrestlers and everything. And we've seen that not just here, but many people out there. How do you feel about wrestlers just coming on and where does all this negativity come from?
I can tell you the politics backstage because, guys might feel a way about somebody but not be able to say it because that's their boss at the time. Then once they're away, you say whatever they want. They can tell you the real story, like what it was really like. So what's my feeling on it? It's interesting. I always like hearing the stories. And then, like, I'll tell you what I love is, like, I'll hear a story and I know the people in it. I'll know if it's true or not.
You're right, exactly.
A lot of times, more than often, it's true. A lot of these wrestling theories, rumors, like, people are like, oh, no, that didn't really happen. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it did, and it was worse than that.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Right. Can you confirm MVP's comments on Triple H?
Well, I don't know what his comments are.
He hasn't even specified.
He won't specify. He said one day he will on his podcast, but he said he doesn't have any respect personally or professionally for Triple H. Booker T, they just talked about it too.
Yeah.
Booker T that said that Triple H really doesn't care what MVP has to say, and he's not thinking about that right now. But I just was wondering if you had known any beef between them at all, if that was a real thing.
No, this was news to me.
Yeah.
No, I hadn't heard about that.
No shade to MVP. We love MVP.
Yeah, no, MVP's my guy.
But for sure.
Great.
Love the guy. He's such a great
in
guest.
Fourth rope too.
Oh, really? Yeah, right.
Wow.
MVP's our general manager.
Okay. Oh, that's amazing. See, we love MVP here. No shade on him
start a feud
whatsoever. I mean, we can always talk about Matt Riddle if you want. No, I'm just kidding. But we really appreciate you coming in to TMZ. And hey, we would love to also see you doing some legal commentary on TMZ Live too. We have lawyers that come in and do that here.
Yeah, we're just going to bring you on all the time.
I would love it.
Because you've done CNN. You've done CNN. You've done Court TV.
Yep.
You've done so much,
I'll tell you a funny story about that.
Yeah.
The first time I ever did Court TV, I was watching this Jodi Arias case, which was a huge case.
That was a big deal.
And I just was commenting on Twitter, and they realized I was a lawyer. Like, hey, would you like to come in and talk about this? And I'm like, yeah. That weekend, I had the live events, and I was working Great Khali. And the spot was he was supposed to knock me over the ropes backwards, right? And then come out and get me, whatever it was. I was going to tear up his leg. That was the spot. Knocks me over the ropes. I'm going over backwards, but his knee pokes through the ropes because he had bad knees. Like he kind of stumbles,
right.
And his knee goes through, and it just nicks my my brow right here.
Oh,
land, and all of a sudden blood is gushing.
Whoa.
Like I can't even see out of my eye, and I look up, and this kid in the crowd, he like covers his face, and I'm like, oh man, this is bad. Like I can't see. So I'm like, all right, I gotta stop the match here. I roll in. I'm trying to explain to him, hey, go to the finish. He's like, what? Go to the finish. What? Tonga, what? Just chop me in the head.
Oh,
so he
no.
chops me, and that was a stiff. His chops are always stiff. That was like a funny thing backstage. I love Khali.
Yeah.
Boy, he would give you a concussion practically with that chop. Hit me with that, I'm down, count it out. My my eye swells up, I get stitches in it, and I show up to I show up to Court TV, and I'm trying to look professional as a lawyer, and I got this giant shiner.
No, no.
Like, I'm so self-conscious about it because, like, I wanted to be taken seriously as a lawyer. But then again, I mean, they know I'm a lawyer and a professional wrestler, but yeah. So, like, when you watch that clip back, I'm all,
you're like, what's wrong with that Otunga?
We're gonna. I'm gonna find it and play it during this interview right now. So we just came out of it right now. Really quick, last question. In terms of being, when I was younger, I found out that you had a Harvard degree. Yeah. I couldn't believe it because I was like, that's amazing. You know, you're doing both of those things, wrestling and such an exquisite history and education. Were you ever treated differently backstage because of that?
To be honest with you, no. When I should have been, and I'll tell you what I mean. Because I was green, wrestlers who were there longer or veterans would treat me like I was an idiot.
Really?
Like I didn't know common sense or anything. That I'm like to me, like it was always some guys. Like, it would irritate me because it was like, you have no idea what I did before this or what I was doing. And they would tell me stuff wrong. But like within wrestling, yeah, you've been doing it longer, but yeah, like they kind of didn't respect you. Like, you were respected on how long you've been there or whatever, not for intelligence or anything like that. And there was a ton of people who didn't know I was really a lawyer. Like, some of the boys, I thought it was just a gimmick.
Yeah,
but
I bet.
No, legit.
Right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Again, check out David Otunga's YouTube channel. He's also on Instagram. He's all over social media. And yeah, thank you so much for coming in.
Potential movie coming out.
Potential movie coming out.
Yes.
And please, Marvel, DC, please get him in.
James Gunn.
ASAP.
Man.
He's revamping right now, so there's an opportunity here.
I got a couple ideas that I could be.
You called your agent, hey, like,
I got to get on this.
Yeah, you got to get on this. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining TMZ's Inside the Ring, and we'll be back here next week.